Lesbians, don't tell me you're still doing upright rows, dumbbell shrugs, and Arnold presses. This is the worst way as a lesbian to build muscle.
This video went viral a few months ago and it started a debate. Do lesbians build muscle differently than everybody else? Is somehow not just being a woman, but being a gay woman affect muscle growth or affect weight loss? Of course not! Jesus Christ, why would it? Why? Tell me why would it cause you to lose weight differently? Tell me why. So this lady, her name is Jamie Filler Fitness, is your generic fitness coach. Always trying to come at you with some weird gimmick to appeal to you because you think the reason you've made no progress in your weight loss journey is because it's some gimmick you're not following, or it's somehow because you're gay, which it's not. But instead of taking accountability for your bad habits, you must blame it on your sexuality somehow, and therefore you have to follow her specific advice. We're gonna watch some of her videos and see what's good about them. I'm sure there's some good stuff. What's bad, and how to actually lose weight for the lesbians. Key, I'm gonna give you a hint. It's the same shit as what everyone else does. It's the same stuff, guys. Anyway, let's get started. Traditional diets weren't designed with lesbians in mind. They were designed for no one in mind because they're all gimmicks. Instead of just telling people, hey, maybe the reason you're fat is because of the 160 grams of chocolate they consume every bloody day, or the 15 beers. Instead, we can blame it on demographic somehow. Oh, I'm not gonna do a whole balanced diet because instead of taking accountability for why I'm a fat instead of doing that, I'm gonna blame carbs and go on keto. Yay! That'll help me lose weight. You make me sick. You make me physically ill. I'm joking, of course, but in all seriousness, if you actually read the caption, because a lot of people don't actually put any advice in their videos, they shove it in the caption, which is really dumb and I hate that. She just says, you're overweight, anxious, and tired of your genes whispering, nice try, bro. And then she goes on about how your nervous system is fried and your body holds on to stress and fat like a toxic ex. Yeah, your nervous system's not fried. Maybe you're stressed, and stress can affect muscle growth, but also can affect weight loss. Stress has a lot of impacts on your life. Instead of actually giving any useful or tangible advice in the caption, she just says, comment release to grab our shred yo shit guy and start feeling like the badass that you are. I'm gonna get something out of the way. First off, this is one of those people that's just trying to appeal to a minority of people. She's taking advantage of, in this case, lesbians' insecurity about their weight or about their muscle mass to profit off of specifically them. She gives no advice in most of her content and provides no real value. She's just trying to shove you down the funnel, right? Because you start with her guide, which may or may not cost money, and then from there, maybe you'll buy her coaching or whatever. And it's just this weird marketing scheme to make more money off of you. And her coaching could be great. Her coaching could be the best thing on the planet. It's the marketing, it's the somehow specifically appealing to lesbians that I don't have that much of a problem with. I just think it's funny. I just think it's hilarious because it makes no sense. It's actually very common for people to try and only appeal to certain demographics of people in the weight loss space especially. It's very common for people to say, you're a woman, so because of your menstruation period or because of hormones or something, weight loss is different from you. If you do what men do, you're not going to get any progress or any results. And there's some biological basis behind it because yes, women do have periods, they have menstruation. I'm not an expert on that stuff, but it does up with your appetite and therefore can screw up your weight loss. And women are also very commonly underrepresented in the science behind weight loss, in the studies behind muscle growth. So because of that, it does make some sense to try and only appeal to just women, even if a lot of the claims people make when they do so are sometimes incorrect. Although a lot of times people do give really great advice. However, only appealing to lesbians makes no sense to me. I think it's some kind of thing to try and be relatable. Like, for example, I like protein ice cream. There's no point to that. I'm just gonna eat this ice cream while I film this video. Look how nice that is. Hold on. Look how nice. I know you can't see it because my light's coming from that direction. Look how nice that is. I don't know if they have this brand of ice cream in other countries, but in Australia, this is probably the best brand of protein ice cream to get. The protein pints, 30 grams of protein for 300 calories. That's a better ratio than most protein bars for a large volume of food. Large volume of food, low calories, high protein to keep you full. Something like this is great for weight loss. Hey, I just gave you a tip to consume foods that are higher in volume for less calories, for more protein to keep you full, so you're less likely to be hungry and binge eat all the time. I provided value in this video. Let's hope that this woman provides value later on. But as I was saying, appealing to lesbians is kind of strange to me because there's no biological difference between them and straight women, and they make up like 2% of the population.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Ooh, instead of weight loss, it's weight gain. And of course, immediately plugging in her free 16-week workout program below. I actually did read what she wrote here ahead of time. And all she does is say that your body adapts. If you don't evolve your strategy, your results will flatline. Therefore, comment guide, get my free program, and buy my coaching. She didn't actually give any advice. All she really said was change things up constantly because your body adapts and gets used to it. And my taste buds haven't quite got used to this protein ice cream yet, so that's clearly bullshit. But yeah, no, the main crux of this post is a complete lie. You don't have to constantly change your approach or your strategy to try and keep gaining weight or keep losing weight. It's all about a consistent calorie surplus for weight gain. Less volume, more calories, perhaps slightly less protein, so that way you're not as full, so you can keep eating more throughout the day. You don't want to be constantly changing things up. A lot of times people fall for gimmicks in the weight loss and the weight gain world, and a lot of those gimmicks are just not really going to do anything, or they're harmful and they actually have a negative effect on your progress, which does happen sometimes. So guys and girls and lesbians apparently, don't change things up all the time. Develop your habits slowly and stick to them for a long period of time, especially in the gym. Don't change your movements every 5 seconds. There's no such thing as shocking the muscle or shocking the body. When you're constantly changing your approach, you don't allow time for that approach to work.
If you're a lesbian and the thought of dieting sends you into a shame spiral or a straight up panic, I get it, because I've been there. For years, I bounced between cutting carbs, tracking every calorie, and swearing off food after 6 p.m. And every single time, I ended up binging, feeling broken, and hating my body even more. It wasn't until I stopped dieting altogether and learned how to eat in a way that actually felt safe, empowering, and made sense for my brain that everything changed for me. Now, I eat freely, feel amazing in my body, and yeah, I got abs. But more importantly, I got my peace back. If that kind of food freedom sounds like something you need, I'll send you the exact training, nutrition, and mindset plan I use to build a sustainable wellness routine that actually works with your mental health, not against it. No food rules, just real food freedom. All you've got to do is hit follow, then DM me the word food, and I'll send it straight to your inbox.
Oh god, she gave no advice again. She just said things and told you to buy a program or something. I actually do like this video, believe it or not. I think it's a very good mindset to have. But what she's basically saying is build healthy habits, which is a good thing. Don't change this up all the time, which does contradict what you just said.
We're Filer Fitness, the first online fitness coaches to specialize in helping anxious lesbians.
Specializing in helping anxious lesbians. So now, not only do you have to be a lesbian, but you also have to be anxious. If you're a confident lesbian, these tips won't work for you guys. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to leave the video.
Lose weight by working on their nervous system first. I struggled with an eating disorder for 10 years and anxiety for 4 years.
Eating disorders are rough, man. If you have one, get professional help. That's all the advice I'm gonna give. I'm not qualified to help you with that, but that's all I'm gonna say. Call a helpline. I'll put one for Australia at least, or maybe for America. Right here when I edit the video.
Through our 3-hour method, we regulate your nervous system first and tackle sustainable weight loss. Our clients lose 10 to 15 pounds in 4 months.
Oh no, it's gimmicky again. It's gimmicky. Now let's see if they tell us how regulating your nervous system is gonna help you with your weight loss or with your muscle growth journey.
And see improvements in mood, energy, and cravings in just 7 days.
I've actually had this happen to me where I found that my cravings die down after about a week of dieting. I find something about eating good or better for a week. Once I hit that 1 week mark, my cravings just go which is a good thing. I'm not sure if that means I was regulating my nervous system or some shit. I think it's just your brain gets used to having less sugar. At least for me, I have a lot of like sugary junk food, and then it lowers my cravings over time. So this woman seems perfectly fine. Her videos seem fine. I don't have a problem with her specifically. I do think the marketing is kind of funny, which is why I'm making this video. The problem I have is every video she's made has been an ad. Every single one. She hasn't actually given a single tip on how to lose weight, except for that one video where it was like, you know, don't change things up all the time. Overall, this video is a bit of a piss take. It's kind of to be funny and entertaining. But yeah, again, if you're lesbian, building muscle and losing fat is exactly the same process if you're a woman, which is a very similar process to if you're a man. It's a calorie deficit and consistent weight training. You can do it, lesbians. Anyway, thank you guys for watching my video, and I will see you all in the next video. Subscribe for more. Goodbye, everybody. 7 exercises nobody does according to our GOAT, our Lord and Savior, the guy I have dreams about that makes my bed all, Jeff Nippard, our absolute GOAT. Today we're going to go through the 7 exercises that no one does for muscle growth. I will be rating all of these on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being never doing their shit, 5 being it is the best thing you will ever do in your entire life, except marrying the one. Just going for the exercises for today.
Okay, the first exercise is a simple way to improve your shoulder health, grow your forearms, increase core strength, decompress your spine, and improve muscular endurance. It's a dead hang.
First off, we have the dead hang. Now, the dead hang is an amazing exercise for your forearms. It's also really good for a bunch of other things, as Jeff has listed in his video. Now, I'm not really sure how much core strength you'll gain from a dead hang, unless you're really, really bad and you swing a lot and you can't stay still. I feel like for the most part, the benefits of this exercise are the endurance. It might help your lower back a little bit because it really stretches and decompresses it out. It might be good for your shoulders. So overall, good exercise. For purely hypertrophy, I'd give it a 4 out of 5, just because your body weight might not be heavy enough for you once you get a bit stronger. No one wants to lift their body weight for 2 minutes at a time. It's a pretty long time to do one set. So a 5 out of 5 option list, in my opinion, would be a weighted version if you're stronger. If you're weaker, it's still 5 out of 5.
Next exercise takes a standard dumbbell curl and makes it just a little more effective, at least in theory. I call it the Zotman hammer curl. Here's the idea. With a regular curl, maybe you can lift 20 pounds on the way up, but you could easily control 40 pounds on the way back down. That's because you're about 40 or 50% stronger on the negative than you are on the positive. But since the negative is crucial for muscle growth, I think it makes a lot of sense to overload it to its full potential. Curl the weight up with a hammer grip and then lower the weight back down with a palms up supinated grip. By using a hammer grip on the positive, your brachialis and brachioradialis can come in and help out, and then when you switch to the supinated grip on the negative, your biceps are forced to take the load.
Number 2 is the Zotman hammer curl. I have mixed feelings on the Zotman hammer curl. The idea being, like Jeff said, to really even out the tension curve better. So instead of the eccentric being really easy, it can be equally, roughly as challenging as the concentric. I don't think this is a terrible idea. I do think it's kind of gimmicky. I don't actually think it's going to grow your biceps any more than a standard dumbbell curl. However, it will incorporate a little bit more of the brachioradialis and the radialis. So for that reason, I'm still going to give it a 4 out of 5. Honestly, I absolutely love this idea for a lateral raise. If you don't know, people have been debating for a long time which lateral raise movement is better at smacking your friends across the face. Which one will train you better at smacking your homegirl across the face when she tells you that she's still speaking to her toxic ex. The cable one, for a long time, people said it was better, but then a study came out saying actually it's probably about the same as the dumbbell version. So this version, I probably reckon will give you roughly similar growth. However, it's a lot harder to chit on it, and you'll probably feel it way more, even if you do have to go lighter, which is why I'm still going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. The only reason I'm not going to give it a 5 out of 5 is because personally, and this is my opinion, this is not objective fact, I find exercise where you're completely locked in, you have no freedom of movement, slightly harder to progress on. That's a me thing. I have a lot of friends who find it easier to progress on those kind of movements. So let me know in the comment section what type of person you are. But yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
So I don't think I've seen many people do this one outside of my audience. It's the sideways facing one arm rear delt fly on the pec deck machine. First, I should explain why it is that I like them so much. It's really because this is the only way to get a full range of motion for your rear delts on this machine. When you do them the traditional way, what you're really doing are half reps in a shortened position. The rear delts don't get anywhere close to a stretched position until you reach across your body. So that's why I do them this way.
Reverse pec deck. I love this exercise. I've only done it once so far. My gym bro put me on it because I saw it in videos and kind of ignored it. But then she said, you know what? You have to get on it. And I agree, boys and girls. Because it feels great. You get an insane pump. It is slightly awkward, but I do think it's like the best way to load up the full range of motion and have a mostly even resistance profile. Cables can kind of do the same thing. It is a little bit awkward. It takes some time to get used to, but I love it. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Ooh, the dragon flag. A friend of mine has been doing these, and he seems like he's gotten pretty good results from them. They seem really good. I've never really tried them. I don't have a strong opinion on this exercise. I'm just going to give it a 4 out of 5. I do think it could be slightly awkward. I prefer like the regular cable crunch. I feel like it's the most comfortable exercise for most people, or maybe even a hang leg raise. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Again, this is not me saying I'm smarter than Jeff Nippard or me saying he's wrong. This is just me giving my opinion and sharing it with you guys. You guys can give your opinions in the comment section as well.
Okay, this next one is one of the most underrated back builders out there, and most people have probably never heard of it. It's called the Kelso shrug, and it's amazing for back thickness because it completely isolates your mid-traps and rhomboids without fatiguing your lower back.
Kelso gang! Oh my god, Yo Talks is gonna be so happy that Kelso shrugs are in Jeff Nippard's latest video. Do they look silly? Yes. Will they build your middle back? Yes. They'll build you up like Bob the Builder built up his buildings. Overall, I do think this is a very good exercise. I don't really do it very often, which is a shame, because when I do it, I do enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. I think it's an amazing exercise. I don't do it enough. I will start doing it more in my training. I think all of you should do the same thing. Ooh, the seated cable deadlift. I don't know about this one. This is the only one that I've straight up never seen before. Jeff was using his creative genius to invent this exercise, or probably not invent it, but whoever invented it is an absolute genius. However, I do think, obviously, use straps. Jeff Nippard wasn't using straps in this demo. Very suboptimal, Jeff Nippard. Very suboptimal. Overall, I'd probably give like a 3.5. I feel like it'd probably be kind of awkward. I haven't tried it out. I don't have any strong feelings on it. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on all these exercises. I think this is another phenomenal video by Mr. Nippard. But yeah, that's the end of my video right here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Goodbye, everybody. Someone tell Mr. Mike this doesn't work his quads. Obviously, this is because people love clowning on Mr. Mike, and the reason for that is because he's always says some like very controversial things every now and again. Like, he promotes race realism, which I'm not going to go into in this video. He has mentioned how having a drink or two a day can be beneficial for your health, which is just purely wrong. It says that this isn't a quad exercise because his grip strength might be a limiting factor. In my last video, we reacted to this Instagram reel where it calls out Mr. Mike for not being the most scientifically accurate and having the best hypertrophy training. Then I put a community post up asking you guys which influencers or creators you think I should make videos on, and one of you said Mr., or more well known as Dr. Mike. So I'm going to go through the same Instagram account that constantly posts critiques of Mr. Mike. We're going to screen record my phone. We're going to do a live reaction today, and it is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get started. This guy's entire account is pretty much dedicated to clowning Dr. Mike, and it is hilarious. Look at this pinned post he has with 1 million views. Does Bubonic not see the handles? Did Mike Mensa also do assisted pull-ups? This is reference to the clip where Dr. Mike says that he's bigger and stronger and smarter than Mike Mensa.
Who am I compared to Mike Mensa? Well, I'm bigger and stronger than Mike Mensa. I'm more educated than Mike Mensa. I know more things than Mike Mensa. That's it.
And he might actually be bigger or stronger. I'm not too sure how much he weighs for his height or whatever. But all we know is he definitely does not look as good as Mike Mensa. Whether that's a pure muscularity issue or how Dr. Mike specifically responds to steroids, I'm not too sure. We've also got somebody tell Mr. Mike this isn't an ab exercise. I don't know. The music gets me every single time. And the reason why it's technically not an ab exercise isn't just because he's not using straps, like I'm sure he mentioned in the caption. His grip will give out way before his abs come close to failure. But he also talks about how the primary movement of a leg raise is hip flexion, saying leg raises are an ab exercise, like saying a squat is a cup exercise. It works it a bit, but it is certainly not the prime mover. To actually work your abs in a hanging leg raise, you have to basically make your butt face the wall in front of you. If you just move your legs up and down without actually flexing your spine, which is the function of the abs, you don't really train the abs properly. You just train mostly the hip flexor muscle. Someone tell Bob there's a bench behind him. Nah, I will not tolerate this slander. Deficit push-ups can be a great chest builder. I will not tolerate the slander. Somebody show Mr. Mike how to do a row. Yeah, Dr. Mike is all over the stretch. He loves to stretch. He has a fetish for that stretch. The thing is, the stretch was sort of debunked by Jeff Nippard in this study he did, I think a year or two ago, where he got a bunch of advanced lifters together to do either lengthened partials or full range of motion, and they found they were equal. They were basically the same.
So I asked Dr. Pack and Dr. Wolf to present the findings to me on a graph.
Let's do it.
The hype!
You're legit hyped.
I actually am.
Full range of motion,
Let's see it.
6.6%. Trained lifters, 8 weeks.
Show me the money. Okay, so I mean, is it safe to assume that is basically the same?
No difference.
And that's because we think at least the mechanism behind stretch-mediated hypertrophy and why it only seems to work in beginners versus your advanced lifters is probably because of something called sarcomere addition, which in layman's terms, the muscle gets longer. So after a couple of months of training, that kind of stops happening, so it only really works in beginners, not really advanced lifters. Somebody tell Mr. Mike who has a squat rack behind him. He is obsessed with high reps. And I've watched a lot of his content. I was a channel member for a bit. The reason why he loves high reps is because he's obsessed over the burn. Feel the burn. Yeah, feel the burn. Feel the burn. The problem is the burn, or muscle soreness, or whatever it is, doesn't actually cause muscle growth. It's simply a byproduct of hypertrophy training, or aka muscle damage. When he tries to base all his training around trying to get sore, you're sort of aiming for something that might mean you had a good workout, but doesn't necessarily mean you've had a good workout, so it's just kind of not the best approach to training in general. And I wonder why there's so many people with PhDs that just cannot agree with each other. There are people with PhDs who all clown Dr. Mike, and there are people with PhDs who support Dr. Mike. It's insane, because ultimately a lot of the science isn't concrete. We don't really know everything, and once you try and niche down into these more specific what-ifs or maybes, or is this better than this, there's no actual one strong scientific consensus. So you find with these more niche debates, there's no one scientific body that can go, this is right, this is wrong, and you're an idiot. Someone show Bob the T-bar row. 30 plus reps to tone the muscle. Holy fatigue, generating glute isometric. So this is actually the Australian pull-up. It's basically meant to be a easier version of a pull-up. So you're only at a certain angle because you're not going directly against gravity. You can pull your body up easier. As a row variation, the whole point of this is, again, he's trying to get more of a stretch, which isn't a bad thing because most back exercises are way harder at the contraction and then super easy at the stretch. The problem with this specific exercise, like he says in the caption, is loadability, but it is also, music's great, isn't it? But it's also, it gives you some stretch, but not actually that much. Ultimately, it's kind of impossible to make a row way harder at the stretch than the contraction. I wouldn't recommend this exercise. Just do a standard row.
Dumbbell curl exposes the biceps to maximum tension at the longest length. It gives me predictable repeated delayed onset biceps soreness, delayed onset biceps soreness.
This guy, PB Hub Fitness, has a fetish, a gimmick, a trend, or whatever you call it, whatever word in the English language you use, or Mandarin, or Japanese, or Italian, whatever, for clowning on Mr. Mike. It's hilarious. As for the onset soreness thing, again, onset soreness does not cause muscle growth. It is a byproduct of muscle growth. You could never get sore and still grow maximally. That's the thing. When you're trying to aim for soreness, it makes you do things like higher reps, more volume, which things that can be good, but also you can overdo them. And I do think sometimes Mike maybe does overdo it. Because I used to be a channel member and I would watch his training videos. He would say sometimes, I trained too much volume last time, I haven't recovered from my current session. Holy isometric! Bub needs some straps. Someone show Bub the leg extension. Yeah, I've never seen this before. This is curious. So basically, you hold yourself in place with the handles, and then you kind of use a chair behind you, and then you do like a assisted squat. Honestly, this setup is probably a pain in the ass, but it'll work for a little while. Then you get too strong for it, and then you'll have a problem because it's practically impossible to load up, but it will work. That is us clowning Mr. Mike today. Dr. Mike, overall, most of his advice I do think is good, but he is wrong on some key things or doesn't have the full picture. It's strange because when the new science about the stretch came out, the Jeff Nippard study that he conducted, all the other stretch advocates talked about it. And I, as Dr. Mike fan, was excited to see Dr. Mike perhaps cover this new study and talk about what does this mean for how he's going to change his training, what does this maybe mean for the science moving forward, and he just kind of ignored it. It was a bit disappointing for me. Dr. Mike, overall, I still love his content. Do go ahead and subscribe. But keep in mind, you cannot trust everything anyone says online. Everybody is always wrong a little bit, including me. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching this video. I will see you all in my next one. Goodbye, everybody.